Hey guys, it's Angelin here. So today I have a room decor DIY for you guys. I will be showing you guys how I made this really cute framed paper succulents wall decor piece. And this DIY was super cheap because basically all you need is paper for this. As for the frame, I went to Michael's and used a 40% off coupon. They're all over the internet if you just look them up. And yeah, I bought this frame for I think $12 after the coupon. So in total I spent about $15 on this piece, and if you go out and buy like wall decor pieces, they're usually at least like $20. So I would say that this was a fun project and also saved me some money in decorating my room. Next week on Tuesday I have a really fun slime video for you guys. It is so cool, and yeah, I can't wait to show you guys. So be sure to stay tuned for that. And yeah, now without further ado, let's get started. So first off, I am making some stencils. I'm using a ramen noodles label, but you can use a cereal or cracker box or anything else that is about this thickness. And I'm cutting shapes of the succulent leaves and creating about 4 or 5 different sizes of the same shape. And as you can see, I've already cut quite a few out. I'm cutting all of these freehand, and then I clean them up after I finish cutting them out. But feel free to sketch out your petals first before you cut. And don't worry about your petals not being perfectly symmetrical, because obviously plants aren't like flawless in nature, but I'm a big perfectionist, so that's why I fixed all of my stencils so much. And in the end, I had 4 different shapes and had about like 4 or 5 different sizes of each shape, and here they are in case you wanted to copy them. Next, I am taking some green cardstock and tracing out one of my petal shapes. You can trace out as many or as little petals as you would like of each stencil. After I trace the first one out, I'm tracing my second one out directly like across from the one I previously traced, so that way my petals will kind of be centered and even. I mean, if you don't want them to be, then you don't have to do this. But like I said earlier, I am a perfectionist and I tried to space everything out perfectly. But yeah, so for then a total of 6 petals, I traced 2 more out in each of the gaps on the left and right sides of the 2 that I traced first, if that makes any sense. And then after that, I am repeating these same steps for the other sizes of that same stencil shape that I made. After I finish tracing, I'm then going to take a pair of scissors and cut out my succulent shapes, and if you would prefer, you can use an X-Acto knife, but personally scissors work just fine for me. I also cut a few leaves out of some purple cardstock so I could use them to fill in any gaps that I have in my project later. Then after that, I roughly rearranged my pieces just so I could make sure that I had enough succulents and enough leaves cut out. Next, I am taking my shadow frame and I'm going to use the big white sheet of paper in the back as the background for my succulents. And if you don't have a sheet of paper in the back that you can use, or it has writing on it, then you can always flip it over, or you can use a piece of cardstock. I then put together all of the layers for each succulent using Aleene's Instant Tacky adhesive dots. You can also use hot glue or any other adhesive, but I just thought using these would be the fastest. So this step is optional, but I wanted to add a little bit more dimension to each of my plants, so I went ahead and took the petals and kind of curled them up using my fingers. And another idea you could do to make your plants look more realistic and more dimensional is to add distress ink to the edges. And distress ink is basically like a brown or black ink typically that is used to make the edges of paper look more vintage or worn. And since succulents do have like a brownish tinge to their leaves sometimes, that would be a cool idea to try out if you wanted to go for a more realistic approach. After that, I decided that the centers of my succulents still looked kind of empty, and I was too lazy to go do the whole stencil process again, so I punched a few holes out of matching cardstock and used tiny little adhesive dots to adhere them to my succulents. And the larger ones still ended up looking kind of bizarre, so later on I did end up adding a few more layers to them. Then I'm moving my succulents around to see where I want to adhere them, and then I used these same adhesive dots to attach them to my background piece. I added in leaves where necessary to fill in some of the white space. And after I finished that, all I had left to do was to pop that piece back into my frame, as well as the black backing that had the little wall hanging pieces on it, and here is my finished project. So that is it for today's video overall. I really hope you guys enjoyed it. If you did, don't forget to give this video a big thumbs up. And also hit that subscribe button while you're at it if you haven't already and would like to see more of my videos. And lastly, all my social media links are in the description box down below like always. I'm most active on Instagram, so be sure to follow me on there. And yeah, overall, I really hope you guys enjoyed this video and I look forward to seeing you in my next one. Bye!